To remain updated with the latest business news, click on the bell icon.
Hello and welcome. You're with us here on Business Today, and we're in conversation with Sumit Gupta, CEO, CoinDCX. There has been so much buzz in recent months about upcoming regulations and how the government's going to be taking a deep dive into the crypto sector. What's on the agenda as we count down to Budget 2022, and will we hear something definitive from the Finance Minister? Sumit, let me get you in and get an inside view on really what can be expected this time from Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman.
Sure. So, Abha, as you rightly mentioned, in the last year, 2021, the entire market has grown multifold, right? We have seen unicorns coming out of the country. So much development happened in this space itself. A lot more clarity came, a lot more discussions happened. So I expect that to continue, and I expect the market to grow even a lot more in this year, 2022. Though I feel that there's a lot more work that needs to be done in terms of coming up with the right regulatory framework, but I feel that one thing which is very easy and which I also expect from the budget is clarity around crypto taxation, right? And also, how do you report these transactions, because there's a lot of confusion around this. Like, a lot of people reaches out that, okay, how do I pay taxes on crypto? And that's also keeping a lot of investors on the fences. So I expect that to be discussed or announced in some capacity in the budget. We feel that in the union budget there will be clarity around what taxes to pay if you are a long-term investor versus if you're a short-term investor. If you are actively trading in crypto, how do you treat that income? Should it it will be put under business income, right? And then a lot of people currently pay taxes in crypto based on the holding period, long-term capital gain, short-term capital gain. Some people use crypto in their commercial transactions. So how that should be treated? If you are doing transaction with, let's say, a foreign party, right? That should come under LRS, and reported to RBI. So all of that clarity is still not there on paper by the government. So I expect that clarity to come in the budget session, specifically on the treatment of crypto related to taxation.
Sumit, there have been several conversations that the industry has been having with regulators. What are some of the things that you've really shared, what you feel would really help the industry to move forward and be recognized?
I think in terms of overall discussion, there has been healthy discussions that has happened in the past. I think that should continue, and then the industry should be engaged a lot more often, right? Because the industry has a good perspective what's happening on the ground in terms of how investors are looking at this asset class, what are the developments that are happening globally, so that they have a full picture of what is the best way to regulate it. And of course, discussions around who should be the right regulator, for this asset class, and how to look at a lot of these developments around NFTs, DeFi. So that's a lot more happening in this space. I think having a very strong bridge with the industry will give a lot more clarity, and then we'll be able to come up with a better framework which will let the innovation happen in this space, and will also work in the direction of consumer protection, right? So that investors are not losing out capital. And what are the frameworks that can be put in place in terms of what are the tokens that are listed on exchanges? So there's a lot more work that needs to be done, and it can be better done if the bridge with the industry is stronger.
Now, apart from tax as well, are you expecting to hear anything in terms of regulations around the industry, recognizing the industry? Do you feel that we will hear some of those announcements as early as Budget 2022?
So I'm anticipating that classification of crypto might be covered, right? I mean, crypto, there was a lot of debate around crypto as a currency versus asset class. I think there could be some clarity coming on that front in terms of regulations or framework on how they are thinking to regulate crypto. I think there's still some more work. We were expecting the bill to be tabled in the last session, but it didn't get tabled, and because there's still a lot of different voices and different perspectives. I think that might take some time, but at least few things which are very clear to the government, I think we will hear more on that front.
Sumit, there's been a lot of recent volatility, of course, when it comes to trade, and we've seen this massive plunge in Bitcoin as well. What are you making of it? Is this a time when investors should be getting nervous? Is this par for the course? Is it to do with global tightening? How are you reading the current volatility?
Yeah, I mean, I have been in the space for more than 5 years now. I've seen these volatility even multiple times, and of course, I mean, due to international events, right? What the Fed announced, I think that volatility was expected, but the message remains that if anyone is investing into crypto, I mean, these volatility, the market is still in its early phases, and as the market matures, as more and more government regulates it, as the overall market cap also increases, naturally the volatility levels will go down, but it continues to remain a volatile space, and that is where the perspective of being a long-term investors makes lot more sense.
What would you advise investors to do at a time like this, Sumit? How would you advise them to really look at investing into cryptos amidst all the current volatility?
I'll not give any sort of like how to invest or any sort of financial advice, but I would just leave with one message, that this space is evolving really fast, and there are a lot of I think there's a lot of information asymmetry, right? So it's important that what's happening in this space, and accordingly you plan to invest. Do not invest more than you can afford to risk, and invest very cautiously. Ideally invest in parts. Whenever the market goes down, maybe it could be an opportunity for you to invest at a better price, whenever you see a dip in the market, and then invest in the long term. I think it's overall it's important to understand the market, and I'm more than the investing, more than the getting returns on investment. I am a strong proponent of also reading up and getting to know more about this space and the happenings in this space, because I feel that will give you more returns than the monetary part itself, right? So for any investor, I think it's also important to understand the happenings, and there are various platforms out there who will give you these updates, and accordingly you can plan to invest.
Sumit, thanks so much for joining us. We look forward to, of course, seeing what comes out of the budget, and also speaking to you again as we track some of the highlights from Union Budget 22. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Abha. Really great talking to you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.